welcome to the Keep the Fire Burning podcast.
Yes.
This is going to be
Excited.
a juicy topic. I love juicy topics, and
Yes.
I'm really grateful for this episode, which is all about talking about sex
That's
from a
right.
married couple's perspective, but also how do we balance intimacy and sex in the context of physical challenges or
Mhm.
even different schedules and work schedules and so
Mhm.
topics like that. And so we're going to dig right in. We're really excited to have on the show
Yes, we are.
Team
Yes, we are.
Williams, Kevin, and Yolanda. Look at these shirts, y'all. Can y'all see these shirts? How cute is that? Tell us again, what do the shirts say?
So mine says, I am Mrs. Always Right.
Oh, amen.
And mine says Mr. Ray.
Oh, yes. Oh, perfect. And welcome also to the show, Kenneth and Kelley Holland, newlyweds still. We love you guys and super
All
excited to
right.
have you with us on
Congrats.
today. So we're going to jump right in there. You know, a little bit about Kevin and Yolanda serving in ministry. We know you love the Lord. We know you also serve in marriage ministry. Super grateful to have Kenneth and Kelley on the show as well. We know you are awesome with your background in insurance and also education, community impact, just doing great things, and also newlyweds. So super thrilled to hear more about your story and your journey and how you come together and how you're navigating this thing called marriage and intimacy. So super excited. Trey?
All right. So yeah, we're gonna kick it off with some questions. We're just really gonna have a great, healthy conversation. So anyone can start. Tell us how the two of you all met. Tell us how the two of you all met and what did you find most attractive about the other person? Team Williams, you want to go first, and then Team Holland, you guys can go after.
That's fine. Go ahead. Give your version.
You would like to give my version?
No,
Okay.
you go your version.
I'm going to condense it and make it short. My first experience was, I think I had just come in and downtown. I was just come to the Chicago area, the Best Western Grant Park, and I was at the payphone on the mezzanine where Seagulls is on the second floor, and Yolanda and her girlfriends were uh, in the club, and um, she walked to the bathroom past me on the payphone, and we made eye contact, and I got twisted up in the phone cord around my neck, and she was just laughing. So I waited, and I started to do a wellness knock on the door because I'm like, what's taking her so long? And when she came out, and I said, excuse me, and she said, I was hoping you were going to be off of that phone and gone. And I said,
Always
well,
think
I'm
that.
not. I said, well, I'm not. You have a business card. She said, yes, here's my business card. And I said, I turned it over and I said, I need some number after hours, please. And she said, oh, you just persistent. And I said, yeah, I like what I see, and
All right.
I'm very persistent. And she said, oh, so she gave me her number, and wow, that's how we met, and just never planned it. I was just coming out of a divorce and from 8 years in Michigan, and I was just coming to Chicago, and I said I was never gonna get married again. I'm not gonna get married. And the Lord just showed me. I mean, this now we're going on 29 years
Wow.
and yeah, 29 years in 1 month. And that's the best move that I made is
29 in 1 month.
yeah,
29 and a half years.
29 and a half. I'm sorry. See, she got it 10 point. See, Mrs. Right.
That's right. So
That's
why she
29
got the
and a half
shirt.
years married later.
I was close.
You've got
Yes.
grandchildren, you've got children, and you are a family, and you still remember that story like it happened yesterday. Pretty dope.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I still remember what she had on. She had on brown gauchos. And I think when I saw her, I can see that slow motion of her. She put her best walk on and boom, boom, boom. And I'm looking at her like, mm. And we laughed about it. And we still laugh about it. She said, I should have ran. I shouldn't have given you my number. And we laugh because like, who would ever thought we 29, we weren't even thinking about marriage.
No,
And
as a
I
matter of
just come
fact,
out of a divorce and I'm like, I'm not getting married.
right.
So
And I was like, you know what? I didn't want to marry nobody that had been married before, nobody that had children before. Yeah, so all of the boxes that was the no, no, no.
I checked them. Huh?
Yeah, go
Wow.
figure.
That's
So
great.
she was looking a certain kind of way, you was feeling a certain kind of way, you unwrapped yourself in that phone cord and you got the numbers, and
That's
here you
right.
are 29 and a half years later. Awesome.
Yeah.
Kenneth and Kelley, what about you all? How did you two first met and what attracted you to each other?
All right. She's probably gonna want me to tell the story first. I guess this is the men's hour to tell my version of the story. So, as you both know, we both were dialysis patients.
Mhm.
So I would come into the dialysis clinic, and she would get there before me, and she'd be always on the phone, running her mouth, and her little feet just flopping in the little air. So I started off by just touching her feet when I would go by. I'd slap her foot and wave, and then she would wave. And then I noticed her because she's petite, but she's well built up top, and I would notice that going.
That's right, Kenneth. Tell it.
And I'd be like, "Woo."
The Lord has made
It's,
her
it's
wonderfully.
okay. It's in the book of Solomon.
That's right. That's right. So I took a different approach because I'd been married before as well. So I just utilized conversation when they would sit us next to each other to
Mhm.
get to know her, to see if she was any type of girlfriend marriage material.
Mhm.
She didn't have any idea. Just regular conversation, just to kind of get to know who she was as a person. Because I'm a believer that, we spend so much time when we're younger dating first and not really getting to know the person and just getting intimate and getting and having relations and all that stuff and not having a friend. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of marriages don't work is because when you get past the physical, what do you have?
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So
Exactly.
I took a little bit different approach, and I just kept bothering her. I think she had a little boyfriend at the time, but just kept bothering her. And then I remember sometimes I would use Panera Bread as my office. I would go sit down at Panera Bread and make phone calls and meet people and different things. And one particular day, I called her on the phone, and her car was being repaired. And I talked to her for probably 2 hours.
Oh, that's good.
And then I asked her out, and we went out, had a good time. We went to, I believe it was Golden Corral. We went out our first date, and then we just kind of took it from there.
Love it.
That's great.
Oh, such great stories, such great
Yes.
memories from both of you all.
That's right. That's right. That's great. So so this question is for Kelley and Kenneth. So we know both you all have some health challenges that you're navigating in your physical bodies. Describe some of the challenges you're facing when it comes to your physical health and also when it comes to sex, physical health and sex.
Well, one of the things is, and that's why I like that we have the same health issues,
Mhm.
because it allows us to, number one, have open discussion, which is
Mhm.
extremely important.
Yeah.
But the second thing is, I'm fully aware of what she's going through, and she's fully aware
Yes.
of what I'm going through.
Yeah.
So
Right,
as it pertains to sex and different things like that, there's an understanding that, there's going to be times that we're physically tight.
Yep.
Right.
Mhm.
And it's in a lot of cases, especially with men, we're not allowed to turn down sex.
Mm-hmm.
If we turn down sex, the first thing is you must be cheating because men don't turn down sex.
Yeah.
Well, that's not necessarily true. But so if I say, hey, babe,
Excuse me.
I'm tired,
Mhm.
tonight, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal because she understands.
Yeah.
There's an understanding. And she says the same thing. If
If
it's hey, don't worry about it, baby.
we're understanding.
You know what? I get it. I see you tomorrow. I see you next week. Because there's
Yeah.
times where because of health challenges that it's been more than a day or two. It's been, hey, you got to wait a couple weeks.
Yeah, and
Right.
can you expound and share whatever you're comfortable with, what sort of health challenges it is that you are navigating?
Okay, well, as I said, she's a kidney transplant recipient,
Okay.
but she was on dialysis, and I'm still on dialysis. Matter of fact, it'll be 16 years for me uh, in April.
Yep.
In April.
Yep.
And she actually went on dialysis the year before I did.
Got it.
So she
For
would
both the
be
kidneys.
the
Yep.
kidney,
Got it.
kidney failure. That's right.
Thank you for sharing that.
So,
Wow.
so a lot of people don't realize. I used to, as it relates to, I thank God that I don't have blood pressure issues anymore, because when you have blood pressure issues, it can affect performance.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're taking medication for it.
Got
Yeah.
it. Wow.
So thank God the Lord delivered me from those issues.
Yeah.
So we don't
Amen.
have no issues there any longer. And you know what? Just being able to be patient. I think we talk about it all the time. Communication is so important.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think just
Right.
about every question that you sent us on the questionnaire,
Yeah.
I think it all leads back to your ability to communicate with each other.
Yeah.
Because we come from different backgrounds, we have different beliefs, we have different things that are important to us,
Mm-hmm.
and you just have to be able to have that conversation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Kelly, was there anything you wanted to add?
Well, I was gonna say, also now it's trying to balance also with work, because I am a teacher, and oh my God, it's draining. And there are some days that I come home and I'm literally home. I come home late because I stay after work. Working. And I
Right.
don't get home till like 6, 7 o'clock. And I'm at work at 6:45, 7 o'clock in the morning. So I'm drained when I get home. I come home and I'm tired. And I'm still trying to figure out that life work life balance.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. And and also that's where it comes with communication. And he understands that he may not feel good, he may be tired, and he knows I'm tired. So we both have that communication of understanding each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's key.
That's good. That's good. And I'm glad you guys. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. So, Kevin and Yolanda, you've maintained a long distance relationship. Please first describe what do you do, Kevin?
I'm a professional truck driver.
So that's a long distance.
Yeah.
thing.
Well, yeah, I've been regional probably for what, about 20 years,
Correct.
and just going on locally as of this week, be able to sleep and be able to come home every night and sleep in my bed. So this is the first week in over 20 years that I've been able to come home
Wow.
and sleep in my bed every night.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it feels good, but it's just like, wow, I haven't seen this much of the house. I mean, I made it to the point that I would take a joke out of it. I put a picture of the family on the dashboard of my truck because I said I would see more of my family on the dashboard than actually seeing my family. And that was serious.
Yeah.
It's honest. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And go ahead.
I was just about to ask. So describe some of the feelings you had to work through and some of the challenges you've had to face. Being a long distance, in the long distance situation.
Yeah, because that's real. How do you
Absolutely.
do that? How can you be on the road and still be intimate and still
Right.
What are some of those feelings? Describe and walk us through that.
Well, probably just number one, knowing that I trust my wife. She trusts me.
Mhm.
And my thing is knowing I'm not trying to bring anything home that I didn't leave with.
Amen.
Amen.
And just no, really, just communicating, trying to keep the line of communication open even as you're traveling. So maybe before I go to bed, calling her, praying with her, asking her how her day is and how's the children, and calling her in the morning, you know, maybe I'm getting ready to go to sleep and she's getting ready to get up. So just the key was just trying to keep a line of communication. Just because I'm gone doesn't mean that I not active in the marriage. And that was my hardest thing, is sometimes I would be tired and I wouldn't call her. Hey, you didn't call me today. I said, babe, I had a rough day. And she would call me and we would talk about it. But that was the key, is just being able to communicate. And then you said with the sex part was like, man, I just, you know what? Absence makes the heart grow fond. And I would just like, babe, I can't wait to get home. I hadn't had a rough. I know you probably gonna.
I know
And
that's
she said,
right.
you know, I said, I'll probably be home. You'll be asleep. She said, oh goodness. I said, yeah, you gonna get waking up. And she said, oh, but see, I'm straight up no chaser. She said, oh, okay. He's probably going. Oh,
Sometimes I'm like, listen, don't you wake me up.
Right.
you would tell me it's a problem.
Like, listen, okay, I got to get up at X, Y, Z, but you have to learn how to maximize the time
Yes.
that you have. It's not
Good.
the
Very
length of time, it is the quantity of time,
Yes.
and you have to really kind of get to the point where you're making your marriage a priority, and that you still go out on dates. And
Yes.
there was a time where I had to tell them, like, listen, I that boyfriend I had, I said, oh my God, he was just wonderful. He was spontaneous. He was, we had to have the discussion.
Yes.
I was like, but this husband is boring.
That is.
Maybe he should have
Step it up. I like, oh.
but you have to be able to have those conversations
Yes.
and understand. And I think that that's one of the things in marriage, that couples, they don't have a conversation because they think that the other person, is going to reject them, or thinking. I wasn't saying it wasn't good. I was just saying I just need more spontaneity,
Yeah.
or I need, whatever. And so, we had to work through that, and we had to come up with what is our norm,
Yeah. That's
and not comparing yourself
Right.
to someone who has that coming home every day
Flexibility. Yes.
and they have that whatever. And so that's how we've been able to, be married almost 30 years now, right? And then the other thing is, so literally, if we take out all those days he was on the road, we probably have been married 30 years. Because, just back and forth. Because, he would leave out on Sunday and not come back till Thursday or Friday.
Right.
And
Okay.
you all still raising a family and all the things.
Absolutely.
Fine.
Absolutely. Still going to basketball, track,
And events.
all of that.
Activity.
College. Yeah.
I think this is
All of
a
that.
good conversation, just because it's not always, there are different types of normal. And sometimes
Absolutely.
we think that this is the only schedule that's normal. But there are couples, whether it's in the role and job that Kevin has, or if someone is in a sales role where they travel or they have to relocate to different cities, or performers who go on tour. There's so many different types of jobs that can couples have and have to define a normal. But I think a good takeaway is how you both are communicating and defining that together. And even the same with Kenneth and Kelley, like, this is us communicating together. We're defining what works for us, not what, just because it worked for them over there doesn't mean that's going to work for us, but it's an honest conversation that you're having with each other. And I think that's super cool.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's really good. And so you guys talked about communication, and being vulnerable as well.
Yeah.
And those are good solutions as well. Are there any other solutions that really can help the audience and help you gain balance and satisfaction in the sexual life, in you all's sexual life in your marriage?
I know for me, so there is I'm been in marriage ministry. We've been in marriage ministry since we've been married, day one. That's one thing, right? And having and going to different sessions and hearing like what other people, that it was not unique.
Right.
Okay. But also hearing how people was, making it more spicy, right? So, and that really did help. I remember one retreat we did, and we had the couples and they came, and we gave them candles, we gave them oil, and I remember they were, because we got them, we purchased it at the church, and so I remember one of the administrators, she was like, "What y'all gonna ready to do with that oil?" I said, "Well."
What you think?
We're marriage ministry. We're not the singles
That's
ministry.
right.
That's right.
You
That's
know,
right.
And we
so
can
she was
have
like, "Oh my
fun.
God, we have fun." We had some chocolate. So it was like, and just really kind of, doing things like that. I having a good group of people that you can have honest conversation with because you don't know it all.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I have some sisters that, their husbands were truck drivers too, and so we could
Finding
talk
that community.
and finding that community. So that's one. Um, I think the other is that you have to be creative. I was laughing. I was telling them about the first time I thought I was creative. I had planned everything out. I had went and got this real fancy dinner and made the dinner. In my mind, I had everything together, but I had on a coat. I came to the door and I was like, woof. And he was like, yeah, okay. And I was like, wait a minute, this ain't how this supposed to be.
Right, right.
I'm sorry, I was tired. And I was like, wow.
But to Kenneth's,
it shocked
when
me.
you were talking about, he was tired, I was ready. Okay.
Thank you. That is so real, right? These are
That's
real
real.
moments that
That's right.
we have.
Most of the time it's the opposite way.
He's tired. He's tired. Like that's real. And that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Like that's okay. I love that you brought that point out. Yeah.
Right. And it hurt my feelings, hurt my
was at
feelings
the
for a minute.
It was the end of the world then, because it was like, I was sleeping in the hard bed that night. Like, I did all
I know.
this.
It's like, why can't they read our minds? Like, didn't you know what I planned and what this is fireworks tonight, but yeah, they're not
right. And so you have to, so kind of going through that, but not making it where it is the end all to be all. It was one night, it was one moment, it's over.
It's not the pattern.
It's not the pattern.
That's good.
And then the other thing, read books, I mean, we read and people don't realize it, but one of the sexiest books is the Bible.
That's right.
Just go to the Songs of Solomon and read it. And hello.
Yeah.
So, kind of, doing that. And like I said, retreats and things like that, where you kind of talk about, different things as well. So that has been a help, but you have to be around people who are going in the same direction. And I'm grateful for that. I don't have people in my life who are telling me leave my husband, or, girl, he ain't doing this, or girl, we talk about some deep stuff, but we're there to encourage one another and to be there for one another. That's really great. Having a community and a community.
That's good.
Love that.
Awesome. Team Holland, some same questions, solutions that kind of help you gain balance and satisfaction in your sex life as it pertains to the physical challenges.
Again, just being able to communicate, super important. And I think to kind of piggyback on what they're saying, not taking things personally as rejection. Yeah. Because just because I'm tired, I'm not rejecting you. I'm just rejecting us doing that tonight.
Right.
But and a lot of times because of our things that we dealt with in our childhood, past relationships, we deal with rejection. And if you don't communicate your feelings, then a lot of times what this turns into is a molehill that turns into a mountain.
Yeah.
and you end up with unforgiveness and a lot of different things. So go back to what we talked about earlier. I think everything stems from having that open line of communication, because we all have challenges, and we all have feelings about those challenges. And as I know, sometimes we as men, we're taught to hold everything inside
Mm-hmm.
and not express our feelings, and that's a trap. That's a trap to set you up for failure in your relationship. Because we're just as human as our wives, and we have emotions and feelings as they do,
Come
and
on
it's
now, yes,
important
sir.
that we're able to open up and share those things.
Mhm.
So, hey, you know what? That kind of hurt my feelings when you said that.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
We're not used to saying stuff like that,
Right.
Being honest.
and
Being honest.
but it's good for us because just like we know that we're not mind readers,
Right.
so sometimes our wives think we are. The role reversal is that it goes both ways. They're not
Yeah,
mind readers
that's
either.
right.
If we don't communicate and tell them, hey, listen, you know what? That tone you had with me, I think you need to bring it on down.
Yeah.
I don't like that. And I'm not going to want to have sex with you after you done just let me have it
That
with
part.
Be out.
that tone.
That
Yes.
part. It doesn't work like
Yes.
that, Kenneth. Are you sure it doesn't work?
Right.
Like that? We can't argue, fight, and then you just don't want to. I'm
Make up,
okay.
make up sex.
But
Thanks for the
Now,
clarification.
right. You know what though? I don't know about y'all household, but sometimes, like we can be mad and it be like, well, be like, what? We just had like a thing, and you're like, yeah, but that's over.
That's right.
I'm more
"Let's
like
get on the
that
road."
than my wife. My wife will hold on to something for some time. Me, okay, when we have our conversation, it's over. She kind of holds stuff a little longer.
Yeah.
When we first got together, she used to try to hold it a long time, but I learned how to soften it up for her where she come on out of it.
Yes.
I
And we
said,
have to. Yeah.
"Hey."
Yeah. I don't like going to bed angry. And like I said, I've even had to like come in and she said, babe, it's your tone. It's like, I know you just got out the truck, and you know what? I thought about it. I said, man, maybe I did. I walked right out the front door, walked down the street. I said, man, maybe I did come off a little rough. And I came back in and I apologized. I said, you know what, babe, you're right. I said, I just had a rough day, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that how my demanding tone and and but then I called that I had to do a checkup from the neck up, turn around, think about it, come back in the house and try it again. You know, and it works. But that's why I think that's the key that I have learned. It takes more of a man to apologize when he's wrong.
Yeah.
And because I like having peace in my
Mhm.
house, and we can set the tone just by how we say things and what we say.
I love this and how this conversation is evolving because these could be a sex robber, right? These could be intimacy
Yeah.
robbers
Oh yeah.
if we don't check tones and communication or lack of communication. All of this ties into how we can have a thriving sex life, regardless of the
That's right.
differences that we might
Right.
be navigating within our relationship.
That's
Right,
right.
right.
Yes.
And then the other thing too is understanding what your partner's needs are,
Mm.
and that what they need is not always, it's not always what you need.
Yeah.
So they need something different, and you have to be able to satisfy that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You have to be able to like come out of yourself. That's that part of not being selfish, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, like I'm a time person. If you give me time, that's a fire starter for me.
Mhm.
So having time and having really, a good
Quality
time,
time.
quality time together, and us going out, or might not be going out. We might be upstairs just watching TV, but it's time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Gifts are nice, but I'm time.
Yeah.
And so understanding that, you know, and I also had to realize that I could not, I was, this is gonna sound crazy, but Sunday through Thursday, I was by myself, right? So I just did what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
I wanted to sit back, whatever it was, right? But on Friday, I had to begin to understand, okay, he's coming home.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So I can't go to the mall. I can't go hang out over here. It was very rare that I would do that. Even when we weren't doing anything. We weren't going anywhere.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because for him too, it was the fact that I was just at home when he was
Yeah.
home.
So let me
Because
ask you a
that's what he
question.
listened.
Let me ping that a little bit. So
Mhm.
I love how you brought up the point of, understanding one another's needs. Do you feel this is something that the person needs to articulate? Like, did you ask the question to know, or did you just decide, like, I know my husband needs me to be here when he's home, so let me make that a priority to be there. Just talk a little bit about that.
It's a little both. So some of it was pillow talk,
Mhm.
and so that was like, okay, all right, so I understand, you know. And you have to be real honest, we're real honest. So, sometimes it's like, listen, I don't want to, okay, get it, blah, 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 you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then out of that came, okay, let's have a conversation
Yeah.
because we can't continue to go like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So after 30 years of marriage, it is what it is. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying?
That's
Yeah.
right.
So, and that's the part that I think, you want people to understand that it happens, but you can work through it if you
Mhm.
talk.
Right.
You can work through it if you understand what it is that your partner needs. If you listen
Yeah.
instead of reacting.
And I like to say, listen to what they say and listen to what they don't say also.
Right. Right.
There's
Right.
that communicate. There's the
Couple- That's
nonverbals,
right.
the studying them, and
Yeah.
understand. And then there's even
Oh, we
asking
talked
people
about that.
questions to uncover.
Mhm.
Sometimes you got to go a little bit further and ask more
Mhm.
questions to even get good revelation. Good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do have a question. So in this sex talk that we're having, there have been questions regarding, there have been some games, newlywed games, or where they'll ask this question about the most unlikeliest place or creative place that they've had sex, right?
Hmm.
So we want to ask you all that. What's the most unlikeliest place or creative, unusual
We
place?
talking to the same sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost people. Hey,
that the church won't address.
come on now.
Yeah, this is actually the funny part, but we're gonna let Kenneth and Kelley, y'all
Yeah,
answer.
because ours is probably a little more boring.
It's boring.
I think the most interesting place, if you want to call it that, maybe the shower.
Love it. That's
You
good.
know, maybe the shower.
Right.
She was hogging all the hot water, but it helps that she's short, because then I get leftover play.
And the Lord has wonderfully made her too.
That's right.
Right.
So,
That's
we've had some
Yeah.
good times. It's been a while because we don't do a lot of watching television in other parts of the house, but we used to. And back,
First guy.
way back, she would attack me. We watching TV, and she'd be like, I don't know what it is about this show come on. When this show come on, I'll be ready.
And you know,
She felt her help.
we watch, like I'm telling you, we would watch. I don't know what it was. It was a show we would watch, and they would have some scenes in there. What was real intimate and having sex and whatnot, and it would get me a little hot and bothered. And I was like, "Oh, okay, so I know what I'm doing after this show." And I don't even know if the show was even done. I just thought, like, okay.
Tell it. That's right.
All right, Team Williams. What about you all?
Well, this was the one where we were like laughing. I was like, dang, we boring.
Yeah.
It was like, have we done anything that was, like,
We were both like, I said, man, I don't
right? It
think
was
we
like,
have nothing like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I said, we don't have anything to
it was
really.
like, and we were like, well, maybe we need to go ahead and do something before we, you know. We get on
Motivation.
motivation, right? I was like,
Have
okay,
some
maybe we
good
need to maybe we need to get some exercise in. But
That's fine.
wasn't so much like where, we did the shower, the tub,
yeah.
that kind of stuff or whatever, but it was something that he did for, I think it was my 55th birthday. Why you looking at me like that? You forgot? Oh, you haven't
That's
good.
so much.
You haven't good. What? Wait, that's another podcast. Okay, go ahead.
What you talking about with the rose petals
Mhm,
and
mhm,
just fixing up everything and dinner?
mhm. He got creative that year. So he called, you all know Tamika Conley.
Oh, yes,
So,
yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
so he called her. I was like,
I
good.
said, I need some help.
He needs some help. And so we had a masseuse that came to the house and it gave me a full body massage. But he got one too.
Yeah.
So we had a
Course.
couple massage. And then from there we went out well, we went out for dinner.
We went downtown. She had everything planned.
Mhm.
We had itinerary all planned. I think we checked in, and then we went and had a boat ride on the Star of Chicago, out of Windy City.
Mhm.
Then we came back and we had dinner at what was it? That steakhouse that's not no longer down there. And oh my goodness, everything was just
No, that was the year we had the car accident.
yes.
Yeah, we had a car accident. That was our 15th wedding anniversary.
That was the 15th I'm thinking about.
That's a different one. Anyway, we had
Brain freeze.
right.
So
He ordered we had jerk chicken.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He had that, and then we went out, and I don't know why we went out, but we went out somewhere. I can't remember where that was, but when we came back, he had all these rose petals going all up into the room, and had the heart shape, whatever,
Nice.
and so it was actually spontaneous, which
Yeah.
is not something that he would normally, do. So I gave him kudos for that, right?
Right. Of course.
Right.
And so when you talk about it, we talk about too, again, if you don't have it, then reach out to somebody that can help you.
That's good.
That's good. That's
There's
real good.
resources. There's
That's real good.
resources.
Reach out, right.
Another day.
Love it.
yeah.
We've got
Yeah.
a lot of great inspiration on this call
That's
with
right.
some great ideas to keep it spicy.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
And so this is the question that we paid called sexpectations.
Uh-huh.
And so what advice would you want to give others to prepare and maintain a thriving and healthy sexual relationship with their spouse? What advice would you give?
Honesty, being open and honest about your desires and the things that you, I don't want to use the word expectation because you might get disappointed expectations. However, make your request known, whatever that may be, because we're all different. Some people, they want sex every day. And then some people, hey, you know what? 2-3 times a week is good.
Yeah.
Some people, once a week, do me if it's good. So but if you have something going in your head and the other person has something totally different in their head, there's gonna be a whole lot of imbalance.
Yeah.
Yes.
By having open and honest
Discord.
communication,
Yeah.
then I don't have to guess, I don't have to assume,
Right.
I know. And the same with my spouse. Same. She doesn't have to guess. She don't have to. She knows, and then we can work from there.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Kelly, anything you
Yes.
want to add?
He's pretty much telling everything.
Love it.
He's a talker.
She already told me I was going to be the one telling everything.
Yeah, he's a talker. I'm just like, yeah, right.
That's
I-
good. You all are aligned.
And
That's awesome.
also, like you said, pretty much goes along with what we were talking about when we were reading the questions. Was just that communication is just so key.
Yeah.
It's so much.
Mhm, mhm.
Team Williams.
That's good.
Yes.
You can go ahead. Give the people some advice.
Yes, please.
Oh, I just like you say, I mean, well, yeah, it's just traveling. I mean, for me in my household, I think, like you say, just communicating and just let her know that, trying to keep the fire burning, even though I'm gone, but hey, man, I'm gonna try to make it home early and just trying to set the tone in communication and starting the beginning of the week to the middle of the week to setting up to prepare her for when I do arrive. So I'm trying to get brownie points build up. So when I do come home, sparks will be flying.
The mood.
Yes, yes, yes. And I remember it was somebody, I was listening to one minister, and he was saying, you got to make sure that you are making deposits so that you can
Yes.
get a withdrawal.
Yes.
Right. That's
Okay.
right.
So you gotta, and it's not manufactured, it's genuine,
Mm-hmm.
and so you want to make sure that, that part is there. The other thing is whatever you have to do. So, have some friends and they'll be like, okay, we need to get it in. So can the kids come over your house? I'm like, okay, come on. Because
Yeah.
they need to make noise.
Thank
Oh,
you. Yes, and that's
all right,
okay.
and that's okay. And they don't want no kids around. I'll send them on over here, and then vice
That's
versa.
better.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So again, community, right?
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
find those people that you can be like, okay, yeah, because we need this, right? And I think the other thing is, Kenneth brought up something really important, and that was that if you are on medication, that you need to understand what those side effects are.
Mhm.
And so sometimes you could be getting upset about something, and really it is something that's medically
Yeah.
going on.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then sex ain't just one way. I'm
Right.
just saying.
Yeah.
There's many
Right.
ways
We hear you.
to
Right.
satisfy.
Many ways. Many ways.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, and then understand how your partner is satisfied, how your spouse is satisfied, right?
Mhm.
So that part.
I love it. Well, what a great conversation.
Great
So
conversation.
KTFB couples, you have gotten some great nuggets during this
That's right.
episode. Have those conversations, have those honest conversations, talk,
Yes.
communicate, share,
And be vulnerable.
be vulnerable,
And
listen,
transparent.
and be what your partner needs. We can make it through whatever we are navigating
Yes.
in life,
Right.
whether it's different
Mhm.
schedules, physical challenges, our bodies change. As we get older, our bodies change.
That's
Life
right.
happens, but we can make it through together. But thank you,
That's
Team
right.
Williams, and thank you, Team Holland. We really
Thanks
appreciate
so much for
you
having
being in this episode.
Oh, thank you.
We
Thank you
appreciate
for
your
having me.
time.
And thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to like,
And
comment, and subscribe.
That's right.
All right.
It ain't been perfect, but